Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Believe in best.
Tonight on Our News, Dr. Hubert Minnis confirms he won't run for F&M leader. This as another former PM urges voters to give the new government 6 months before judging. An assistant commissioner calls his forced vacation leave disrespectful. And remembering J. Barry Farrington. Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, Free National Movement leader Dr. Hubert Minnis announcing this afternoon he will not nominate for the party's leadership ahead of the F&M convention planned for November 27th. Minnis said in a statement, "I will not nominate for the leadership, nor will I allow my name to be placed in nomination. I wish those who will contest for the leadership the very best." Minnis added, "I will continue to serve in the House of Assembly as the Member of Parliament for Killarney, as a former Prime Minister, and in whatever role is assigned to me, I will support the work of the official opposition." Well, even before Minnis confirmed he would not be running for F&M leader, former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham said this morning the Free National Movement will have a new leader after its one-day convention next month. Kyle Joaquin has the story.
It is clear as day to me that the current leader of the F&M will no longer be leader of the F&M after the convention on November 27th.
F&M leader Dr. Hubert Minnis has been mum on whether he plans on seeking re-election as party leader at the F&M's one-day convention next month. Ingraham says he knows the F&M will have someone else in the top post once it's all over.
He has already told us he's not running for the office anymore. The party has determined it'll hold a one-day convention for the sole purpose of electing a leader. And that's what's going to happen. I shall be there, God willing, and so will others.
F&M MP Iram Lewis has announced he will run for leader. There have also been rumors that Marco City MP Michael Pintard will throw his hat in the ring. Minnis said he will make an announcement on Sunday.
I will say certain things there, and I welcome you to be there. I hope you're there, so that you would hear it coming from these lips.
You can say, have you gotten any support since losing the election?
You will hear everything from these lips, upper and lower.
While he evaded questions for weeks over a possible re-election run, Our News understands Minnis has reached out to several party members seeking support. Ingraham says if Minnis decides to run, his window for making that decision is closing, as he can't decide on the day of the convention.
No chance whatsoever. If he wants to run, the party is determined. All candidates must be nominated by the 18th of November. And each person who's nominated must sign the nomination form himself, saying he wants to be nominated, he accepts the nomination, and signed by 2 other party members. If he wants to do that, he can do that. But on the 18th of November, the office of leader of the F&M will be vacant.
Now, Ingraham also explained why he kind of took a step back within the party, saying that he felt as though his opinion and his advice were not wanted.
I have not been active in the last 5 years or more because I didn't feel that my advice or counsel was appreciated, wanted, or needed. And so I did not avail myself of any opportunity to get in the way of anyone.
Ingraham says despite that, the F&M can count on him to support or contribute in any way, shape, or form. For Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Former Prime Minister Perry Christie says it's too early to fairly criticize the Davis administration's performance thus far. When asked how he thinks the new government is doing, the former PLP leader said Davis is sorting out the country's finances and making critical board appointments, so it wouldn't be fair to give an assessment for at least a couple of months.
The Prime Minister makes a judgment as to who is in his cabinet, the size of his cabinet. He has to put in place the whole basis of governance, that is the boards, and that's a process that's ongoing now. And so truly, I think it'll only be fair to make a judgment in a couple of months, really, when he's had an opportunity to put in place effectively what it is in the government of the Bahamas and all of its offshoots.
Christie says he's already spoken to Davis and encouraged him to reach out for advice.
And I told him that that is one thing I expect him to be able to do, to demonstrate that he is prepared to reach out in all sectors to people who are willing and able to make a contribution to the governance of our country. That's going to be, I think, the difference between him and his predecessor.
Well, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper says the future of the Grand Lucayan deal is high on the Davis administration's agenda, adding officials are very concerned. He says details on the way forward will come in due course.
We are looking actively to see how we can advance the development investment of the property. The people of Grand Bahama needs a break. In due course, we will make a further announcement in relation to the Grand Lucayan. Suffice to say, it's high on our agenda. And if we don't go to bed thinking about it, we wake up working on it.
The government purchased the resort in 2018 for $65 million and has spent millions on maintenance and other costs.
The board did not make a formal release. I suspect there may have been some leaks. I don't respond to leaks. But I will say this. We are concerned about the property. We are concerned about the deal that's in place. There is an agreement in place, and therefore I will not say too much beyond what I've said for public consumption before. I've said 2 years ago perhaps it was a bad deal. I said that when I visited Grand Bahama. I maintain that it's a bad deal for the Bahamian people.
Shifting gears, 2 assistant commissioners of police are speaking out on the decision by the former administration to send them on leave and eventually reassign them to other government agencies. They're hoping what happened to them never happens to another police officer. Berthany McDermott reports.
I pray to God that what has happened to myself, ASP Strawn and ASP Delaveau, I pray to God that it never happened to none of my colleagues, the disrespect.
In March 2019, Fernander, ACP Limon Delaveau, and ACP Ken Strawn were asked to take weeks of accumulated vacation with the expectation that they would retire at the end of their leave. The move followed a police force manpower audit tabled in Parliament by then National Security Minister Marvin Dames, which reveals the senior command of the force was too top-heavy. The senior officers were then reassigned to the Ministry of Health, Education, and Simpson Penn Center for Boys, respectively.
I still was in possession of our police radio set, and I tune in, especially late nights, and listen to what is going on out there. And a little joke, I was lying in my bed with my wife, and the radio set was on. This was after midnight, and there was a shooting. I think it was a murder somewhere, and I find myself getting up in the flames.
A similar sentiment was shared by ACP Delaveau. While appearing as a guest on the police force's virtual talk show Cop Talk, Delaveau explained what kept him going.
The first one is when Mr. Fernander, Mr. Strawn, and I, and the other officers left, we left a family here in the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Those families had not gone anywhere. Those families remained here, and many of them continued to be in contact with us to find out how we are doing, how our families are doing. So what I want to say, though, is what happened to us, I believe, should never, ever happen to any other senior officers.
The officers returned to their duties after the September 16th election. Now Delaveau is tasked with criminal proceedings and prosecutorial control, while Fernander oversees intelligence management. Fernander said despite the rough patch, it's all behind him and he's ready to get the job done.
I'm here now to continue this fight, and to unity is strength. And I want myself and the colleagues to let's put whatever differences aside. It's nothing to do with my colleagues, but we have put that aside, and now we are moving forward.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
A cloudy evening. Greg Thompson has the latest from the Weather Center.
Thanks, Christina. Welcome, everybody, for your Friday's first look at weather. Cloudy conditions outside our studios. We'll call it humid and wet. Some showers are lurking on the outside. Temperatures in the low 80s, 82 right now outside our studios. Your winds out of the east, southeast at 7 knots, and your feels like temperature, a humid 85 degrees. Satellite view, a lot of moisture across our area right now. We have that upper level disturbance moving across our area from the west, and some showers and clusters of thunderstorms across the central Bahamas. We will continue this wet pattern throughout the night and into tomorrow. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. More weather is still to come.
Still to come, a school in West End to be complete by next summer, and government opposes a power hike on Grand Bahama. The details when our news returns.
Affordable, reliable internet connectivity is more crucial than ever. It's how we work, play, and connect to the people we love. That's why Cable Bahamas Group of Companies is the leader in enabling connective lifestyles and experiences. So we've created a campaign called Connecting People Who Care.
Here's how it works, exactly how it sounds. We've chosen 3 nonprofits who utilize Cable Bahamas services: the Bahamas Red Cross, Hands for Hunger, and Bahamas Harvest Church. Each of these groups has chosen a hero within their organization. The organization and hero to receive the most votes will be eligible for 6 months of free services, and our hero will be eligible for $5,000 in cash and prizes.
For more information or to vote for the person or organization you love, visit rev.bs/Connecting People Who Care.
Our winner will be announced live on Facebook during the week of Thanksgiving.
Nearly 400 students will be roaming the halls of a new school in Holmes Rock, Grand Bahama next year. The Ministry of Works has promised to have the facility complete by June 2022. Jillian Gray has that.
I'm standing in the science lab right now, and as you can see, there's still a lot of work to be done. This entire school is still under construction, even though it was supposed to be complete 2 years ago. The new minister has committed that the school will be complete in time for fall 2022 school opening.
Our aim is to have both the building and the external works completed by June, the end of June of 2022, so that the Ministry of Education can move everything that they need in June, July, and August to be able to open the school in September of 2022.
That's good news for nearly 400 students who would have had to commute several miles to Freeport just to go to school. District Superintendent Ivan Butler says the school will be fulfilling a dire need.
We have a minimum of about 400 students that graduate or move from primary school into the secondary school every year. Most of those students have to go into the Freeport area, or they do go into the Freeport area. But this school, we feel, will definitely keep them in West Grand Bahama.
From smart boards to the way that this science lab is laid out, the plan is for this facility to be driven by technology. As the new minister says, they want it to be a state-of-the-art school.
This school has some very large rooms, which is ideal for us, particularly in this COVID environment.
The Works Minister said he was proud of the quality of work, but he has asked contractors to speed things up, as he says the facilities are needed urgently.
Because we see how vital these projects are, and we are asking the contractors, where possible, to accelerate the work. We also know that these projects are important for education. Mr. Butler, though this district has an enviable compared to the rest of the country, we cannot afford to lose one student.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jillian Gray.
Well, the government is not in support of a rate adjustment proposed by Grand Bahama Power Company. Minister for Grand Bahama Ginger Moxie says Grand Bahamians simply cannot handle it.
We know that the people of Grand Bahama are not able to handle any sort of increase, the people and the businesses. But just to be clear, there was a rate filing for a proposed adjustment to the power rate. And parts of it said that there'd be a 40% decrease for a certain amount of the customers, and there will be perhaps increases in other areas. But we wanted to make it clear that we do not agree with any sort of rate increase at this time.
The GBPA has said the filing is part of the power company's obligation and no decision has been made on rates. A cabinet committee comprising of the Attorney General, Health and Wellness Minister, Works Minister, and Social Services and Urban Development Minister have been tasked with dealing with the matter. As he toured Grand Bahama, Works and Utilities Minister Alfred Sears pointed to the vulnerability of residents who are still struggling to recover 2 years after Dorian.
This is not the right time, and consistent with its national responsibility, it has communicated the government's concern, as my colleague minister has indicated.
Meanwhile, Air Canada will begin direct flights from Toronto to Exuma on December 19th. The flight service will be offered every Sunday until April 17th, 2022. Minister of Tourism Chester Cooper described it as a great opportunity for Exuma.
All of the resorts are excited about it. As you know, the borders of Canada have been closed for quite some time. Now that that border is relaxed, Air Canada is returning, which will be a significant boost to Sandals and Grand Isle and all of the resorts on the island. It will also be important for residents who sometimes return via Exuma and then take a connecting flight to Nassau.
In January, Canada suspended airline service to the Caribbean until April. Air Canada also announced increased daily flights into New Providence starting November 8th.
Important not just to get heads and beds in Exuma, but also for the other islands of the Bahamas as well. Of course, we have a large second home vacation rentals market. There's significant pent-up demand in Canada and in all of our markets, quite frankly.
When our news returns, former colleagues honor the life and legacy of J. Barry Farrington, and Caribbean Exports to offer grants to Bahamian businesses. Stay tuned.
You want me to help you? Help you? Help you like you help Terry.
That's your bread. Hey, listen. We get the root off your bread.
Who bread?
My bread. But yeah, we get what?
What you want me to do, bro? You want me to pick you over my little girl? You never cause nothing but problems for people your whole friggin' life.
This is our news. Welcome back. Former prime ministers and cabinet ministers paying their respects to veteran hotelier J. Barry Farrington as his body lie in state in the foyer of the Senate today. Farrington is considered by many to be an icon in the hospitality industry, having been a fixture at Atlantis for many years. He weathered 6 changes in resort ownership before he said farewell in 2013. Atlantis President Audrey Oswald remembering Farrington as a giant in the industry.
He was such a great soul, always willing to stop what he was doing, help others. It didn't matter if you had a personal issue or a business issue. He was always there to help and give advice with his beautiful smile.
Barry Farrington is a tourism giant, but he's more than that. He is an iconic Bahamian who has distinguished himself in tourism, in the hotel industry, in business, on myriad of boards across the country.
Farrington served as chairman of many boards and committees, including Bahamas Air and the Bahamas Electricity Corporation. He also witnessed 4 changes in government during his time at Atlantis.
We worked together when I represented hotels in the union and negotiation with unions, and I have kept in touch with him, he with me, over all these years. He was a good man. He contributed to society in a good way.
He always volunteered to do so much for the country as an ambassador. He was a great Bahamian.
Farrington died on October 12th at age 85. Chief Justice Sir Brian Moree said he contributed so much to the country.
He made an immense contribution to the development of our country. He's left a legacy of public service and compassion and great accomplishment for many Bahamians to follow.
Shifting gears now, $34,000 in grants will be available to Bahamian businesses thanks to Caribbean Export Development Agency, which has partnered with the government to launch a grant program for micro, small and medium-sized businesses. Executive Director says they're hoping to get more Bahamian businesses on board.
We would like to encourage much more applications from the Bahamas. So there is no magic number as such, but we would be very happy if we can get interest from Bahamian businesses and we can approve maybe 15, 18, 20 grants. I don't have a number in mind because an independent group would normally review the applications. But my view is that the more applications we get, the higher the chances of Bahamian businesses benefiting from this program.
The grant program, which launched today, was made possible through funding from the European Union and the Caribbean Development Bank. Maharaj says the grant is on a non-reimbursable basis. Local businesses can log on to carib-export.com for more information. So far, he says the response from other Caribbean countries has been good.
We had a record number of applications from some jurisdictions, such as Barbados. So we are getting good uptake, but that is why it is so important as well to come to the Bahamas, engage with stakeholders, have the opportunity to speak with audiences such as what you have, to talk about the work that we do, to elicit, interest so that we can support the Bahamas and to build a resilient Bahamas, and in doing so, build a resilient Caribbean.
Up next, a wet start to the weekend, and dentists give back to breast cancer survivors. Stay with us.
Affordable, reliable internet connectivity is more crucial than ever. It's how we work, play, and connect to the people we love. That's why Cable Bahamas Group of Companies is the leader in enabling connective lifestyles and experiences. So we've created a campaign called Connecting People Who Care.
Here's how it works, exactly how it sounds. We've chosen 3 nonprofits who utilize Cable Bahamas services: the Bahamas Red Cross, Hands for Hunger, and Bahamas Harvest Church. Each of these groups has chosen a hero within their organization. The organization and hero to receive the most votes will be eligible for 6 months of free services, and our hero will be eligible for $5,000 in cash and prizes.
For more information or to vote for the person or organization you love, visit rev.bs/connectingpeoplewhocare.
Our winner will be announced live on Facebook during the week of Thanksgiving.
Welcome back to our news. Some thunderstorms this weekend. Greg is back in the Weather Center with the details.
Thanks again, Christina. Welcome back, everybody, for your second look at weather. Wet weather pattern setting up for us on the weekend. We have that train of moisture coming out of the Gulf of Mexico, actually all the way out of the Pacific, moving across area, upper level disturbance moving out of the northwest across our area. Eventually in the weekend, another frontal boundary should stall to the north of us, but that will trap a lot of moisture across our area, so showers and thunderstorms will be in your forecast for the weekend. So make sure you take your rain gear and keep your umbrellas handy. The tropics remaining quiet, a couple of tropical waves across the tropical belt, but tropical cyclone formation is not expected through the next 5 days. Beaching and boating forecast for the northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. While in the southeast Bahamas, a caution flag for you guys down there. East to southeast winds 50 knots, seas 3 to 5 feet. High tide will be at 9:49 tonight. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Wednesday. As Aiken, our producer, would say, I'm rocking my pink tonight for Breast Cancer Month. Make it a great weekend, everybody. Back to you, Christina.
Looking good, Greg. Well, a group of dentists giving back to breast cancer survivors in a way designed to put a smile on their faces. President of the Bahamas Dental Association, Dr. Shamika Strawn, says it was the perfect way to honor survivors during National Dental Hygiene Month.
We're going to be doing free dental cleanings tomorrow. We have dentists, hygienists, and we're going to be here all day from 12 until 6. And we're offering the services to breast cancer survivors this month. And also, it's our way as the BDA to advocate for vaccination. So all of the breast cancer survivors tomorrow who will be receiving services will have to be fully vaccinated.
Registration is still open for the free dental cleanings. Dr. Strawn says oral health plays an important role in overall health.
The gums and the bone is the foundation of oral health. So every 6 months is what we tell our normal healthy patients who has no sign of gum disease. 6 months is what we ask, and 3 to 4 months for those patients with gum disease who need to be seen more regularly.
Felicia Ferguson heads communications and marketing at Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies. She says the free cleaning event was the perfect opportunity to give back.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's also Dental Hygiene Month and Physiotherapy Month. So we thought what better than to do a community outreach for these important months. What we offer at Bahamas Medical is the support of bras, breast forms, skincare items, and aftercare items.
To learn more and to register, call 801-5515 or 815-3337 or email bahamasdental@gmail.com.
If you haven't registered yet, just call, send an email, get your opportunity tomorrow to have your free dental cleaning. Like I said, there will be dentists and hygienists there, so if you need follow-up care, you will be assigned to someone, or you can choose your preferred provider and make sure that you follow up.
Well, thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.